I think it was about a couple weeks ago that I left a poll on YouTube asking you guys which project you wanted to see me tackle next, and far and away the majority went to the Bale Unroller. If you voted for one of the other 3 projects and you're disappointed that I'm not working on those first, don't worry, I'm going to do them all eventually. I just kind of wanted to get some direction as to where to start. And the votes are in, the people have spoken, and today I'm going to start working on the Bale Unroller. That's what's going on today on Farmertylerranch. This 4x4 quarter wall square tubing that I'm using here is going to be the main frame of the Bale Unroller, and I think I'm going to cut this off at 5.5 feet. I should probably mention that I've never built one of these before, although I am going off of a design that I've had a chance to look at closely and take some measurements off of, so I feel pretty confident about it. But there are just some things that I'm not 100% sure on, and I'm sure when it's all said and done, I'll be able to go back and tell you guys which things I would change. I think the first step with this project is going to be getting the 3-point hitch built on this, because there's a couple of considerations and a couple of criteria that I need to meet that is going to be affected by the geometry on the Bale Unroller itself. You see, on the Bale Unroller, I need the arms to lower all the way down to where they're just barely off of the ground, because when you're unrolling a bale, you're going to need those arms almost dragging on the ground to get all of the bale unrolled. But then I also need them to have the capability of being lifted up high enough so that I can carry a 6-foot bale at least a foot off the ground. This means that we need about 4 feet of travel in the 3-point arms, and we just don't have it. Not on this tractor, not on any tractor. So if the 3-point hitch on the Bale Unroller lifts and lowers and stays level, which is what most 3-point implements are designed to do, it's just simply not going to work because we don't have the 4 feet of travel on the 3-point arms that we need. So in order to combat this, we need the Bale Unroller to lift and tilt at the same time. So the solution, as I see it, is to adjust the geometry on the 3-point hitch on the Bale Unroller so that as we lift and lower, it doesn't just stay parallel to the ground, but it actually tilts back as we go up. I've got an idea of how I think I can accomplish this, but first things first, let's get the tabs on this bar for the lower links. Well, this is the shape that I came up with for the mounting tab for the lower links, and I've just kind of been thinking that it's going to be a lot easier if I drill the hole now before I start cutting this out with the plasma cutter. So that's what we're going to do. I think it's going to be right here. Looks good there. I've never used this before. Maybe this is not the time to get familiar with it, but I guess that seems like it's on there now. Here goes nothing. Will it go all the way, is the question. That's pretty good. These are looking pretty good, so I think I'm going to tack them in place. And my plan moving forward here is to just tack all these parts on with the MIG welder, and then I can test the geometry on the tractor with it tacked together. And when everything is where I want it to be, then I'm going to come back in here with the stick welder and finish welding it with that. The lower link mounting area is easy. In fact, I probably could just finish welding these right now. I don't think I'm going to end up moving them, but you know, never say never. The next step is going to take a little bit more thinking and a little bit more geometry, I guess, is what's going to end up being involved. And that is we need to put the center mast that is going to eventually hook into the top link on the 3-point of the tractor. I think that depending on where I locate that top link is going to have a big effect on whether or not the Bale Unroller stays parallel to the ground as we lift the 3-point arms up and down, or whether I can get it to tip back like I want to. In fact, let's get some measurements off of the tractor, and I want to show you guys kind of what my idea is. So the way that I understand this, when the top link and the lower arms are parallel, it should keep your implement pretty much horizontal as you go up and down. So my thought is on the center mass of the Bale Unroller, if I make it taller so that when I hook it up with the arms all the way down, this top link is horizontal, then as you go up, what's going to happen is the top link is going to go back towards the tractor, which in turn will pull the top of the Bale Unroller back. And the lower arms, as they go up on their arc, they're going to be pushed out. So you have two different forces happening. You've got the bottom arms lifting and pushing out, and you've got the top arm not lifting but going up and back at the same time. So these two together should tilt the Bale Unroller. So with this 2x6 sitting on top of the lower links, and we'll assume this is flat-ish. This will represent the additional height from the 4-inch square tubing. So I think if I just take a measurement from here with the top link straight out, it's about 2 feet to the center of this pin. So we'll make a center mast on the Bale Unroller and just bring it out here, hook it up to the tractor, and cycle the 3-point and just see what it does. In fact, I might even give myself like 3 different options of mounting holes for that top link that are just permanently installed like that, because you never know, if you put that on a different piece of equipment, you might need the top link in a different spot. So we'll make the center hole at 2 feet exactly, and then maybe do like 1 hole above and 1 hole below. So I'm going to cut off a 30-inch piece of the 2x4 rectangular, and that should be good for what we're trying to do here. Got my center line marked here, but now I need it up here. Looks good. Well, it moved just a little bit, but not enough to worry about. I mean, it's like a 32nd of an inch off, so we can live with it. Should do it. So we know we want one hole at 24 inches. We have a winner. There. Okay. Does it fit in every hole? There we go. You know, it occurs to me that I can learn everything that I need to know by just having that other piece clamped on there, and if I do have to end up taking stuff off and moving it, it'll be that much less work. So I think we'll just leave it like that, and we can go test fit this on the tractor. Well, I am glad I didn't weld that where it is. I don't know if you guys will really be able to see it with the GoPro, but that pin is like really crooked. I'm surprised it even goes in the hole. We'll definitely have to move that plate before we do any welding on it. We'll use this piece of angle iron to sort of represent like what the bale arms would be or where they would be, and we can take some measurements and see how things are looking. I don't know. So with the 3-point all the way down, the bottom of the angle iron is 16 inches. Three-point up, we're at 61 inches. So that means that we've got 45 inches of travel at the end of the piece of angle iron, which I actually didn't measure how long that is. Let me do that now. That's at 57.5 inches, which is close to what the actual arms will be. Now I want to try putting that top link in the top hole and just see what sort of effect that has. The top hole, we didn't change too much. We're at like 16.25, so it only moved 1/4 of an inch. Moving the top link into the top hole got us up to 69.5 inches. And where were we before? 57. So we gained over 10 inches just by doing that. The other thing that I wanted to look at before we got too deep into this is clearance. Make sure that everything clears, nothing's hitting anywhere, which it doesn't appear to be. One more thing I want to look at, because with the arms down, it was at 16 inches. That is kind of high. I'd like to get it down more below a foot, or maybe even lower than that. So let's see how that affects things. We're at 9 inches there. And 63 inches there. So that's still 54 inches of travel, which is more than enough. And you see how the Bale Unroller frame is tilted back. That's exactly what I was trying to get it to do. And I think we did it. Hopefully my wheel makes it back. Well, I know it doesn't seem like much, and I'm sure this video is going to be short and really not do justice to the amount of time that I spent working on this today. But the biggest hurdle, I think, that I got over was just kind of proof of concept. I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to get enough travel on the end of the Bale Unroller arms to make this work at all, and now I know that I can. The next step is going to be to finish welding all the pieces that I tacked on today, get this cleaned up. This is none of this is final. I mean, you guys probably knew that, but I'm going to clean this up, make it look good, finish welding it, and at that point we can start to work on installing the actual arms. But it's getting late and dinner's getting cold, so we're gonna have to do that in the next video. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.